special Australian anthem there, Ganga Jang.
Oh, yes.
Sounds of Zen. I never tire of it. What do a successful Bondi-loving vegetarian journalist and the Outback have in common? Nothing. Nothing, you strange woman. Sue Williams embarked on a journey to the great barren land to find out what is so special about it. She's told her story in this book and she's here to tell us a bit about it as well. Please welcome Sue. You know, some of us Australians spend our lives avoiding that bit in the middle.
Yeah,
right?
Most Australians do, yeah.
But you've made me kind of intrigued. I love the photos. Where exactly did you go?
Well, you start off looking for the Outback and you think, well, where is it? And some people say, oh, it's just west of the city, east of the city.
Yeah.
And some people say, no, it's way in the Western Deserts. So I kind of travelled around all of Australia, really, around WA, around Queensland.
Here's your map.
Northern Territory, around South Australia. And you're always looking, where will it possibly be? But you get to even remote places and people say, this isn't really the Outback. No, it's further on. And every time you go further and further and further, but you start thinking, well, where is the Outback? Is it actually a place, or some people say it's kind of a place in your heart?
Oh, lovely.
Where life is a little, where life is a little more simple and life is a bit more genuine and a bit slower. And I think us city people could learn a lot from that, really.
So did you ever hit a spot, Sue, where you went, this is it, this is the Outback?
I think continually. For me, because I'm always from a city, whenever I saw red dirt or dust or saw a snake or had too many flies, I thought, God, this is the Outback.
Yeah.
But people were always saying, no, venture further in, really.
So what makes your book interesting is you were commissioned to write it, so you had a start and end point. You weren't going to move there.
No, that's right.
But your mission, I guess, was to immerse yourself as thoroughly as you could, which is kind of good in a way. It's like when you meet Aussies who have never been to Uluru, because it's always that they'll always be able to go there. So you crammed a lot in, including you went and learned how to box.
Yes, that's right.
Why is that? First of all, why is that an Australian experience or an Outback?
Is that something you need in the Outback?
Well, there's a fantastic Outback boxing tent, Fred Brophy's Outback boxing tent in Queensland, and it's meant to be the last one left in the world. These old tents used to travel all around the Outback and all around America and the US and around the UK as well.
It's about civilians boxing each other, isn't it?
Absolutely. They have a professional boxing troupe and people volunteer to fight them. And I just thought, first of all, I was just going to go and interview Fred Brophy and talk to him about the boxing tent. And then I thought,
then that happened.
Yes.
Yeah, watch the right here, because you've got a good straight right, Sue. Watch it.
That's you
unload. Bang!
Yeah, take that.
See, I was pretty useless. I got beaten up quite badly there, as you can see.
But you did train for 2 weeks, so you took it a bit seriously.
Right, absolutely. I learned to box.
But total respect for you boxing.
No, but she's a Queensland champion, so she was actually pretty good. But she was very gentle with me. I didn't get too badly hurt. But you're kind of fighting and you see a bit of blood and you think, maybe that's her blood, and then you think, oh, no, it's my blood.
Since that experience, have you been in a couple of fights since? Do you go down to the pub and what are you looking at? Just banging?
Never again. That was my debut fight. It was my retirement fight as well. No, I'm never going to go through that again. It was terrifying.
So I also want to ask you, travel is so much about the people you meet.
Oh, absolutely.
Was the flavour of Aussies different in the Outback?
Oh, yeah. I think people just have more time in the Outback. They want to sit down, they want to talk to you, they want to yarn around a campfire. It's fantastic. In the city, we just don't have time. We meet people for a coffee or we meet them for lunch and then we go off about our business. But there, people just sit and talk to you. They're really interested in you. They want to hear what life is like for you. And people were incredibly kind everywhere I went. I mean, I started off thinking, I really don't want to go to the Outback. It's miserable and it's dusty and it's horrible.
Do they all look like that?
Yeah.
A lot of them do.
I don't like yours much, Sue.
They were fantastic. They were old drovers. There was a guy who used to steal cattle all his life, and there was a guy who used to chase him all his life. He was a stock sergeant in the stock squad. So it was amazing. They all get together once a year, all these old drovers, and their lives are incredible. They used to go out and drove for like 9 months at a time.
You're from the UK originally.
Originally,
You've been here a long time.
Yeah.
Now, you know all these American troops have arrived into Darwin.
Yes.
250, I think, at the moment, 2,500 eventually. What do you think will assault their senses first? What are they going to notice and, you know, realise about Darwin first?
Yeah, I think they're going to be amazed at how friendly people are. And Darwin is so multicultural. And in fact, a lot of the Outback is. A lot of Chinese were out there with the miners, and you must go.
Yeah. No, I'm going in June actually. So
fantastic.
but I always think of it as really rough and tumble. Like I think of Darwin as Outback. Is that ridiculous?
No, I think Darwin is pretty Outback.
Yeah,
to anybody else,
So
except
the
people
other
live
thing
there.
is it's probably safer than the city. We have this idea that it's very, you know, aggressive, but...
Yeah, no.
It's safer, except when you're trying to ride a horse. So I think we've got a photo. Or
yes.
Can you tell us about what was going on?
Yes, I went cattle droving, and I'd never really been near a horse before so much. And I did an hour's riding lesson before I went. And then the first time I tried to get on the horse at the cattle drive, they're pretty big horses. I was standing on a milk crate just trying to get on it, waving my leg towards the stirrup. And then finally the horse got bored and just...
I can relate to that. Horses are much harder to get on than you realise, aren't they?
Oh, my God. In the end, they kind of lifted me onto the horse. And then you just ride and ride and ride, and you think, oh, my God, is this ever going to end? And you can't feel the bottom of your body anymore because your legs have gone to sleep. Yeah. And then you look at your watch and it's only half an hour's gone. And you think, I've got another 7 hours of this.
7 hours, how depressing.
And that's me looking pretty comfortable. I didn't really look that comfortable at all, but, you know, we were droving 600 cattle throughout outback Queensland. It was an amazing experience. What an amazing experience. Once I got over my terror of the horse, it was just fantastic. You see all that cattle rumbling off in the distance. It's an amazing experience. I would really recommend it.
Yeah. So often we need someone from outside of Australia to come and remind us what an incredible place it is that we live in.
That's right.
Thank you so much for doing this. This is your book, Welcome to the Outback. Please thank Sue Williams. Well done. It's available now through all good bookshops. It's a Penguin book. The good news is you don't need to be wearing an akubra to enjoy it. Plenty more to come this morning between now and 11:30, but